Okay, it is the next day. What time is it? Early in the morning. 2:40 a.m. Just starting my day. April 21st of 2025. Just working on getting that monkey off my back. You know what I'm saying? Alright, I'm going to put this first, and then what I did yesterday on April 20th in regards to buying baker's chocolate. So, in regards to buying baker's chocolate, I got the baker's chocolate, but I didn't like the way it came to me from Walmart. And I'm going to phone them up and I'm going to ask them why it came in through a separate delivery. The only thing that I can think of as to why it came in under a separate delivery is because the company itself is trying to prevent people from stealing it. Yeah. So they don't have it in the distribution center. They have it someplace else where everyday employees just can't walk off with it because it's very, very expensive. I paid, what, $150 for 25 boxes of baker chocolate to compensate for what I think is missing in my room. And that would only be half of baker's chocolate. So in other words, I'd have to do it again, which would be another $150. So if my room does not have my baker's chocolate in it that I bought however long ago, a year and a half ago or whatever the heck it was, for all the right reasons, you know, we want to get Andre making chocolate bars and chocolate candy and just, you know, all that good stuff, right? Just because he wanted to grow up to be a chef, and, you know, life is short and there's only so many things that can bring pleasure in a non-threatening manner where you're not committing any crimes, and baking with chocolate is one of them, right? Oh, it's fucking stupid shit, man. Okay. And that's not including the chocolate chips, because you know I'm on the chocolate chip hunt in the one guy size gallon jar, right? So if I don't find those, don't worry, Rhea, I'll replace those as well, right? Because I'm not like you. I don't go into people's houses and fucking do a smash and grab, because this was a smash and grab, people. This was a freaking home invasion in a non-violent way. Oh yeah, but I'd put it more as a smash and grab. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. In regards to the freaking great value sockeye salmon, I put in like 5 orders. Boom, 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 boom. Right? They're canceling them left, right, and center. Now, I did buy 10 cans of sockeye salmon clover leaf. I know it doesn't seem like much. Why is she talking about sockeye salmon so much? Because it's important for me. It's important for me to have enough, even after I'm dead, for a Mari. That's why I buy sockeye salmon. If I didn't have a Mari, I wouldn't buy so much freaking sockeye salmon. But I'm pretty sure that bitch rolled off with a whole bunch of sockeye salmon, because I have not found one box, old school box, you know, from last year or whenever, with sockeye salmon in it. So what does that tell you? The bitch probably ran off with sockeye salmon. So that's why I'm buying sockeye salmon now. So if you don't like me talking about sockeye salmon, well, kick rocks. Okay. I had a little nap. I'm ready to start my day. Because even if I wanted to go back to sleep, I couldn't. Because I already slept. But as I'm sleeping, my mind is internalizing, how the hell did she get up there and get that freaking fabric from against the wall? And I woke up from my sleep. I came here, I sat down, and I had a light bulb moment. Because remember, well, no, I think I said it in this video, or it was the last video, I don't know, but I did mention it, where I don't know how she would have gotten up that far, even though she's tall, right? Outside of maybe grabbing something to snag the bags just to get them away from the wall and pull just enough so where she could grab it. And because she's so tall and has long arms, once she grabbed it, all she had to do was shimmy it and worm it, and then because bolt, you're talking a bolt of fabric, right? Which is, I don't know, right? And then fabric rolled around the cardboard, which makes it a bolt of fabric. So you put a bolt of fabric, bolt of fabric, bolt of fabric, bolt of fabric, and then I put them in plastic bags, tie it up, put it up against the wall. We're talking flat sequence, which is $300 to $500 per bolt. Pleathers, oh God, probably $200 to $300 depending on how many meters per bolt. Bolt, 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 bolt in a plastic bag. Okay, in my room, before we started with this trunk, I had this long, big, round, it was, right, ring, metal ring that was hanging up, and I unhooked it and I gave it to her and she threw it off to the side. Because, you know, I've been working in my room and I found it kind of over there, and then I hung up on my door. So the next video, when we go towards my room, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about here, because how the hell did she get that bolt of fabric? Well, bolts, more than one, right? It would have been like this, okay? All in a bag, tied up. How did she snag it? Right? Unless she, I mean, like, I can't, she's too, I don't think she climbed right up on the bed. She must have been standing on the bed frame somehow, some way, and then reaching, right? But even then, she would have had to use something to snag that bolt, those bolts of fabric in the bag, eh? So this metal ring, she grabbed it, and because it's a ring, right? It's, you know, you can make it a full circle, and it's like thick metal, right? So you could, initially it was a full circle for something, but I saved it for, you know, craft or whatever. It's been hanging in my room for fucking years. But when we went to go get the trunk, I had to move it because it was in the way. And I unhooked it from the ceiling and I gave it to her, and she just tossed it off to that big pile. And when I went back in and I'm looking at this pile, and I'm thinking, no way, this pile is not looking right, because I know, first of all, what was in there, because I told you. You'll hear it after this. After I moved some books out and everything to put food into my little milk cartons where I used to have books, so that, you know, after it's all said and done, I can say, Andre, go get this, da-da-da-da. This is where it is, and it's easy to go get it, right? And after I left the room, any canning jars that I had were all nicely placed with the fabrics on top, and the room was surreal, even though it wasn't completely yet organized, and I was still in transition of moving out stuff. The room was surreal. When she came, we cleared out that corner. She started putting everything in the center of the room there, where that big mess is. And then after we were done, she went back in, and then she proceeded to start digging, finding things that she wanted. Obviously, she went for the most valuable things, because that's what smash and grabbers do. They go for the most valuable things, and they do it as fast as they can. So through that process, she was making a mess, scattering, right? Just move, grab, pull, open it up. Oh, wow, $500 worth of baker's chocolate. I'm taking that, right? Take it out of the fucking can, or wherever she found it, because there's only so many places I would have it, people. And when I did the first batch of baker's chocolate, I said previously, right, you'll hear me say it when I'm shopping for it after this, I took them all out of the boxes. As a matter of fact, let me go get one. Hold on. Okay. I'm replacing what I think's been taken from my house by this girl. Okay? Alright. Can you see how much? This is like $6 a box. Do you see? It's not very much. This one's cracked. I don't like the way it sounds. Anyway, I'd open them up. This is how they were packed in my room. They weren't packed in the box. I'd open them up. I'd take them. I'd put them in a Ziploc bag, all nice, right? I'd cut off this part, and then I'd just take what it is, put it in the Ziploc bag, and then I put them, well, I'm thinking I put them in my metal cans. That's what I'm thinking. But maybe they're in a bucket. I have to go through some of those buckets in there yet. So far I haven't found them. And that's why I'm getting the monkey off my back. Yeah. Now I'm not going to buy again until I know for sure that they're gone. Once I go through everything and I know that they're gone, then I will stock up to where I feel comfortable with what I got. Yeah. Okay. So I'd have a Ziploc bag full of this, Ziploc bag full of this, and so on and so on. Alright. So that's, I haven't found them yet, people. Alright. So she's in there on the floor, like the rat that she is, moving things around. That's why things got more scattered than what they'd normally be. She told TeaSha the reason she filled up that box that I showed you with all those little miscellaneous things in them is because she was trying to help me because there was crap on my floor. So she just randomly found a box that was from 2024 in my room, as if I'd have some box like that just loitering around. Now, in terms of that type of box. And she was just going out of her way behind my back when she knew she wasn't supposed to be in there, filling it up to make it easy for what? I don't know. For her to walk. Yeah, no. She probably wanted that box, but she ran out of time. Plus, she had too many other things already because she went for the big ticket items, like a smash and grab. She didn't go for the silver and those kind of jewelries. She went for the diamonds and the gold. That's what she went for. In a smash and grab fucking display case. And because I had pointed out to her what was on the against the wall in terms of because she like looking around and talking about fabric, and I'm like, yeah, we'll wait until we get to that corner over there, because there's some beautiful fabric in that, and like bolts of fucking sequins and shit. I made the mistake of telling her and showing her exactly where it was. So as soon as she got an idea of where it was and what it was, she couldn't wait for me to fucking leave and go back into my room and beeline for it. But first, before she did that, she wanted to take as much food as she could, and she went for the expensive shit. That's what she did. And that's why she scattered all this fucking shit around. I mean, she was even moving my because like I said, all my home canned goods were placed everywhere where they were supposed to be, nicely covered, right? Because you don't want them to pop, right? And she made some of my jars so vulnerable to being popped, people, because of the way she was moving things around in there. And she even took fucking jars out of their original boxes and put them in a different box, because she needed, I don't know, I guess she needed certain boxes for certain things, or maybe she emptied out a box and she didn't want an empty box there, so she filled it up with something else to make it look like, right? You know what I mean? Like there's was one box that has jars in it, like home canned goods that don't belong in there. Well, where those jars should have been in the other box, but the box was empty. So she took the jars out of the original canning box, put it into a different box, and then took that box and placed it there, put some shit on top. So when I took the shit out, I'm looking at these canning jars, and I'm like, why are they in there? That's not the word they're supposed to be, right? And then I find the box, the canning box over there empty, which kind of tells me that whatever was in the box that had the canning jars in after she put them in there is probably what she took out. And she didn't want me to notice the empty box. I don't know. All I know is, how the hell did you get those bolts of fabric off that shelf against the wall, way up high? Outside of, you had to use something to snag it, just so that you could reach it and shimmy it out and carry it out all nicely bagged up in one pop. She's going back and fucking forth here, quiet as a mouse, people. And like, I'm over here, my hall down that way is a long way with Andre making noise, Amari making noise. I don't hear nothing because she's creeping as she's doing this, okay? And I don't care, Rhea. You can watch my fucking videos. You put my black interface standing up like the freak that you are, right next to a white one. So what are you telling me? That you worship the devil? Because you don't need to tell me that with your symbolism, because you already have proven that with your actions. And that's why God gave me an increase on my credit card to fight back on the devil. He put your ass in your frickin' place, okay? Because to do something like that, as you're doing what you did to me, as I opened up my house and my home to you and your kids, thinking about your future and the future of your children and wanting you to succeed even though life is hard and you're a single mom. And I mean, like, how many people really freaking care about you to take the time to even think about your future and would want something good for your future and your children? And then put up with you and your children just so that you can have a freaking future. As if I had the energy to watch your kids. I did it anyway, though, didn't I? I made my house available for you and your children so that you could have a semblance of a normal life as a single fucking mom with a future. And all you did was plot and scheme and couldn't wait until you could do your smash and grab, as you were probably stealing each and every moment that you had before you went for the big one. Because you were giving off those vibes from the moment that you started taking that shit from outside when Marquine threw out that shit the first time around. But whatever. And then over the years, last couple of years, you know, I get the heebie-jeebies to the point where I'm asking TeaSha, do you think this girl would steal from me? Oh, no, never, never. She loves everything that you gave her, blah, blah, blah. She always tells me how she's so grateful, blah, blah, blah. And then it still wasn't enough to hear it from TeaSha. So I gave you the benefit of the doubt, and I asked you straight to your face, not once, but 2 times, if you would steal from me. And you promised me you wouldn't. But the minute you got into my bedroom, fuck, you knew what you were going to do before you even came to my house. You see, that's the thing. And the moment you got a chance to act on it, you went for the highest, you took as much as you could possibly take, and you listen, you racked up anywhere between $2,000 to $3,000 worth of shit of my shit gone. I'm inching up close to 2,000 right now with the bolts of fabric. Because you can put $1,000 on that fabric. Okay? And I think I know how you freaking did it. You took that round metal thing, you squished it a little to get together more, because when I went in and I started moving around your mess, okay, and I found that round thing over there, it was squished more together. And I'm like, oh, okay, it got bent more, okay, and I got it hanging on my door right now. I went to sleep. I woke up, and not even 10 minutes after waking up tonight, I got a light bulb moment thinking that's how she did it. That's how she snagged that shit. Right? And you probably took that thing and you were snagging shit on the bed as well, because it was strong enough to give you what you needed to do to pull it. And once you got your little grubby, dirty, filthy fucking hands on it, you just shimmied it out and then carried it out and went back in for more. You see, that's the thing. That's the smash and grab. You went back in like a freaking looter. You went in and you looted my room. And then you had the audacity to come here, and that's why you were so wigging like a fucking tweaker when you came out here. Oh, I gotta go. And oh, you have so much corned beef. Crab is so expensive. It's $7 a can. And I'm looking at you, sitting right here, and I'm, okay, so, and, right, you know, I don't need to explain myself to you, right, you know, and how would you know I have a lot of corned beef? I specifically asked her, how would you know I have a lot of corned beef? Well, there's 2 cans sitting on the freaking shelf there in the hall on the sewing machine desk. No, it's because you were going from spot to spot in my fucking room. And that's why you were so wigged out, tweaking, and, oh, I gotta go now because I don't want to get caught with $2,000 worth of Judy stuff sitting out the front door. And you beeline out of here like a bat out of fucking hell. And not only that, but you stood fucking guard at the door with your tall-ass, intimidating self, knowing that if I came and just pushed over the lid on that trunk, you would have been caught. And you didn't want that to happen. So you were rushing out of here as fast as you could, standing a guard, watching over that shit. Yeah. And then you had the audacity to tell me that you were going to come back. And we were going to do it again. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So anyway, black interface, white interface, sticking up like what? You already know that you're running with devil. It takes a person that runs with the devil to do that kind of shit. But there's no pride in it. And that's why I got the increase on the credit card. It was to remind you that whatever you did, there is no pride. And I know, so that's how I think she snagged it. And next video, I'll show people what you used to steal a whole whack of fabric that probably amounted out to almost $1,000 if you were to price it out today, in terms of bolts of flat sequins, pleathers, and that kind of stuff. Yeah, and that's just what I can see. For all I know, you could have wiped out the whole freaking shelf, because that thing was long and you work fast. Yeah, because you've been doing this shit to people for a long time. You're well-seasoned, well-experienced smash-and-grab thief. But yet, you live in squalor with a house full of mice. Right? I was going to have my son come to your house and help you with that problem, being that, you know, he's learning the business and your landlord doesn't care about you and your children. But you ruin that for yourself. No, I don't care. That's your business. You think a cat's going to solve the problem to the amount that you were telling me that you have that problem with mice? Good luck. Good luck. So what, you going to make something with my fabric? With my fabric? You going to make something with my fabric with mice running on it? Yeah, okay. Sell it to the Africans? Yeah, okay. Go do another African wedding? Huh? Wait till I let the fucking Africans knows exactly what you're about. If and when I ever decide to go talk to them and let them know who you really are. Because you like to hang out with the fucking Africans. If you're not sewing for them for their stupid weddings, pretending that you're such a... Well, they're not stupid weddings, but they are for you, though. For you, they're stupid weddings because you don't respect people. You see, that's the thing. You steal from people. And if you steal like the way you steal from the way you did with me, you're going to steal from them. You'd be stealing at their wedding. And that's why they're stupid. Because they wouldn't see for what you really are as you're stealing at their fucking wedding because you're a smash and grab thief that likes to cover up in a mask and pretend to be something that they're not. Yeah. Yeah. Is that why you didn't bring back my shit? Because you don't want the Africans see you doing it? And then me taking it next door telling them that you stole a whole bunch, $3,000, $2,000, $1,000 worth of shit from me? And they'll be like, well, we know that, bitch. She helped my auntie with some sewing with the marriage. She came to the African fashion show. You'll be blackballed so freaking fast? Is that why you're hiding out like the freaking dirty rat that you are? To do what you did? That's the way I see it. Yeah. That's the way I see it. So anyway, Walmart keeps canceling my great value orders for these so-called freaking sockeye salmon cans on sale. But I don't really care because, like I said, I prefer cloverleaf sockeye salmon. And it's nothing that I can't build back up over a period of months because really I shouldn't be racking up my credit cards any more than I already have. And I should just focus on paying down my landlady whatever money I'm told that I owe. Okay? Which, that is what I'm going to do. And, I'm just going to keep logging, looking for the things that I know I had in my room. And if I don't find them, then it just goes to the dollar amount with that smash and grab in terms of what you took from me. Yeah. And then you wonder why nobody wants to help you. But that's okay. I'm sure you'll find another sucker to help you along the way. You'll make another friend with your happy-go-lucky self. Let me help you attitude in terms of you offering your help. The only reason you offer help anybody is because you're plotting and scheming how to steal from them when they're either not looking or at their most vulnerable point in their life. And that's how I'm going to end it on this video. With this video, you came and you took advantage of me at a very vulnerable point in my life. Okay? But in a kind of a roundabout way, you helped me to put things into perspective. In other words, you don't see me crying over that $1,000. I'm just going to put it at $1,000, people. $1,000 of fabric that you stole, because there might be more that she took in there, because, you know, she's fast, eh? Like I said, I had fabric on my bed. She may have somehow found a way to root, because I haven't quite figured out exactly. Well, I think I figured out how she got the bolts of fabric. That I think I figured out. I can't see her actually up on the bed, nesting in the middle of it, with her big skanky ass digging around, but then the way she placed those interfaces kind of makes me wonder. But in regards to pulling the actual bolts of fabric that were bagged up, I know what she used to do it. Because if I was to do something like that, that's what I would use. And it would be very easy to do it, especially if you've got a height and long arms to do it. And she had that. So I'm just going to say I lost $1,000 worth of beautiful fabric that this girl thinks she can make something to make money on with the Africans, whether it's at a fashion show and sell it there, or whether it's for an African wedding. And little do they know what they're dealing with and what they're buying. Oh, why am I breaking out in a rash? Ooh, what did this girl sell me? Ooh, I can't, it's beautiful, but I can't wear it because there's something wrong with it. Yeah, I wonder what the fuck is wrong with it. Right? You cursed yourself. You didn't curse me. What you did is maybe you set me free in terms of, well, if I can lose that and cut my losses and move on with my life, then it shouldn't be that hard for me to start working on removing the rest of the fabric in my house that is holding me back, being that I can't sew it anymore. In other words, sell it. Don't cry about selling lost dreams. In other words, I moved into this house. Any life I had was lost the moment I came into this yard. And I became a slave to the yard. And all this fabric that's so valuable, where it turns people into tweakers, where they gotta steal it. You know, it's testament to the fact that I had a life before I moved into this house. But once I moved into this house and the weather warmed up and I had to go out and start dealing with the yard, I have 14 years of lost opportunity. And that's what you took from me, is you brought it, well, you didn't take it. What you did is you brought it to the surface where it's glaring in everybody's face. Yeah, 14 years. That fabric sat there, and it took a rat to steal it, right? For me to maybe just, I don't know, just bounce with it. It will be easier now for me to sell other things when it comes to fabric in my house. There's nothing holding me back. No broken dreams, no lost opportunities, no, oh, I wish I could sew, but I can't very much because I can't see, or I don't have time because I'm always, you know, washing pissy blankets because of Amari leaking out from the diapers, or I'm grinding up his food because it always has to be pureed, or whatever, whatever. When do I have time to sew? I don't. Not that I could, because I can't. But it didn't give you the right to come in and steal it. But now that you've stole it, and it's toughened me up, it doesn't hurt so much to let more of it go. That's what I'm trying to say, right? You think you hurt me. Well, no, because you weren't even thinking about hurting me. You just thought that I wouldn't notice it for who knows how long. Because you were going to keep me busy in other rooms, whether it was downstairs, whether it was in the playroom, whether it was in the bedroom with the fabric. You were just going to keep me busy, 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 as you were stealing from room to room to room, hoping that it would take me a year before I'd get back into my room to realize what you did. But you have to remember, I had a daughter that was an addict, that stole. I had a stepson that had mental health issues, that stole. I've been around multiple people over the years that like to steal. So, you know, it's in your fucking DNA. And that's why you did your black and your white in alliance with the freaking devil, so that you could get away with it without any consequences. Right? Well, there are consequences to it. It will follow you. Yeah, I'd be very careful what you make with it. If I was you, I'd fucking sell it. Get rid of it. But even then, the karma that you brought to yourself is going to stay with you. Oh yeah, it's going to fucking stay with you. You know. But you helped me. In the long run, Rhea, you actually helped me to let go of the past. Let go of lost opportunities. Let go of shitty fucking individuals that don't mean nothing at the great grand scheme of things, because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, they're not going to be anywhere around me when I leave this planet. And in other words, whatever I got to do now between the day I die, after I'm dead, I don't think I'll ever think about you again. And what little bit I do think about you at this point in life, well, I got a whole lot of other fucking fabric in this house. Whether I give it away or sell it, it's okay. Because if I can lose $1,000 worth of fabric and counting, I can deal with the rest of this fabric in this house with no ill will. In terms of mourning my fabric and losing my life. You know, right? You go blind, you start to lose your life. Your life changes, things change. Priorities change. Now, Marina likes to sew. So before I'd sell it, I'd ask Marina, would you be interested in this? Because if you're not interested in it, because she doesn't, I don't know if she would have been, you know, she's not a stupid girl though. I'm sure she would have loved to have that fabric that you took. Would she ever sew with it? I don't know. But being that she's a woman and she sews and she likes fabric, that one I don't think she'd throw away. But some of my other stuff, she's not interested in it because she doesn't deal with dancers. She sews different things. So she'd say, no, I'm not interested in that. But what you took, maybe she would. I don't know. But I'm just at the point now where it's easier for me to let go with what's left. Without any boo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. You didn't make me cry, Rhea. That's what I'm trying to say. You didn't make me cry. As a matter of fact, I find it kind of, I don't want to say funny, because in this instance, I do believe in karma. What the hell is Rhea? What's going on, Rhea? It looks really nice, but I can't wear it because there's just something wrong with it. Like, look, I'm breaking out in freaking hives and like, ooh, I want my money back, bitch. What the fuck did you sell me, bitch? Give me back my money, bitch. Yeah. Well, I hope you choke on the money for what it's worth. Okay, so same day, second video of the day, because obviously I'm wigging, right? Got that monkey on my back, worrying about my baker's chocolate and my chocolate chips and my 1 gallon jars with my chocolate chips in it. And I'm trying to remember how I packed the baker's chocolate when I bought it. Oh, I don't know. It was a year and a bit ago, maybe within the last 2 years, right? Because I stocked up on it less than 2 years ago, right? And I stocked up on it because I don't even buy chocolate bars, people, very often, because I tell Andre we're going to make our own chocolate candies and chocolate bars, and I have molds and, you know, chocolate molds and the whole 9 yards. I just, right? And so I avoid buying chocolate. Very seldom do I buy chocolate bars, right? Because I know that it's just a matter of time before we're going to, and I tell Andre all the time, we're going to be making chocolate chip cookies and chocolate cake, and, you know, we'll make chocolate bars and chocolate candy, and because I had it all. Finally, I was done. The last time I bought chocolate was at Canadian Superstore, oh, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, not even that, as the top off, which that 1 gallon jar of chocolate chips should be on my floor with the rest of the chocolate, where I have that section on my floor, right? And it's not there. And I'm like, okay, calm down. Maybe it's on the bed. It could be, right, with the rest of the jars there, because, you know, I, right, took out the fabric and put food in there instead. But not the baker's chocolate, no, because you see those boxes that the baker chocolate comes in? I took them out of the boxes, and then they're pre-wrapped, right? And then I put them in Ziploc bags. I cut out the label of what type of chocolate was, put it into the Ziploc bag, and I can't find them right now. Where I thought they would be, they're not there. Okay? And there's only so many places I'd put something like that in my room. Only so many places. Also, I have another jar that I'm going to look for that has chocolate in it. Chocolate in it. And I've got some smaller jars with chocolate chips in it. Chocolate, cocoa powder, right? Those seem to be there. I have this one jar with white chocolate in it. And it's dropped. In other words, some pieces are missing from it. For whatever strange reason. Because it's not as high as it was before. And the funny thing is, I don't even like white chocolate. Right? But I suppose if you're baking once in a while, it's okay. So, you know, I ignore it. And right? But I'd never eat it. Heck no. And I asked Andre if he would eat it. He doesn't even know what it is. Right? He wouldn't even know what to look for. So, you know, I'm looking at this. I priced it out. Look at that. Do you see the price on this? This is what I mean. Like, this shit racks up real fucking fast. See, I'm not even ordering white chocolate because I don't like white chocolate. You get a maximum of 5 of this one. 10 and 10. And I did it 2 or 3 times. So that I had enough to make candy with, and chocolate bars, and, you know, fancy cakes, and or whatever, right? Look at the total. Just for those 3 things. 1, 2, 3. $149. Okay? And that would be a third of maybe what she took, if she found it. If she found it where I had it, which there's only so many places for it to be, and she took it, then she took $450 worth of fucking chocolate, if not more. Now, hopefully I'll find it. If I buy this, because I'm thinking to buy it, because it's another monkey on my back, right? I ordered more salmon. I ordered 10 more cans of sockeye salmon, great value, and then I even went as far as ordered 10 cans of clover leaf sockeye salmon. Yeah. That should be more than enough to keep me happy to go through the rest of my room to see if the salmon that I'm looking for is in my room. Because I have smaller boxes from back in the day with salmon in it, but I haven't even found one box like that in my room yet. From like a year ago. Like that little box that it said jam on it. that is in that corner that she put that empty macaroni container with. That's where that box of jam was. Now, I did find some other jam because I told you I had another spot where there was jam. Right? So, how much jam is in there? Because there's also Alfredo sauce, it looks like, and something else. And I'm not digging that out right now. I know it's there, so that's another date because it's not in the way right now. But, just, this is stupid. Like, I'm going to be racking up another $300 on a stupid chocolate. And if I don't find my chocolate, and my chocolate chips are gone yet, oh my God. Like the ones that were like easy to access in terms of on the floor in 1 gallon size jars, right? Because the floor is cold, so it keeps it nice and cool, right? I wouldn't leave it out in this environment. It's too warm out here. And I put it with the rest of the chocolate so that if I want chocolate, I know where to go because I know where the basic vicinity is. I haven't seen it. What I found was a 1 size gallon jar of dehydrated broccoli. That's what I found. I can't find my maple sugar. 1 gallon size jar of maple sugar, and that stuff is extremely expensive. Yeah, I can't find my bottles of maple sugar, and I packed 2 bottles with something else when I was doing corn syrup, but I still had a couple of bottles tucked in behind where I was sitting, but she was rooting around, moving things around, picking what she wanted. And like, I am like 99% sure that she stole my fabric. Yeah, 99% sure. And that's just, it makes me want to just lay down and go to sleep and just, but I'm tired anyway because I was in my room all day yesterday. I didn't accomplish very much. I did accomplish something, but I didn't accomplish as much as I wanted to because, you know, I'm taking extra care to do the things that I'm doing. And sometimes I get so overwhelmed in there because I can't believe that things have been moved the way they were moved. And why they were moved. Today I need to be doing kitchen stuff. Andre says, oh, just lay down, man, and take a nap. Because if I take a nap, I'll have more energy. And then I'll just get up and... Because otherwise, I'll be just... I'm exhausted, people. Like, you don't even know. And Mrs. Gill wants me to plant seeds. No, it's not happening. I'm going to do a yard check in the next week. Yeah, because those planter pots are still out there. So, you know, when she comes, she's going to beeline to the back. I told you to get rid of those planter pots. And that table. Why are they not gone? How come you haven't planted seeds yet? Here, plant these seeds. Not planting nothing. I'm too tired. I'm too busy trying to get... I'm not recouping my losses because I'm going further into debt. But I'm recouping my losses with the things that I wanted to do with the food that I had. Which reminds me, the salmon, and I was doing pretty good. I told you I was at the point, people, where I didn't know what to buy anymore in terms of prepping, right? So that's why I just said, we'll just top it off with the crab and the shrimp. You know, you only live once, right? You know what I'm saying? For everything that I've been through all this years with just, you know, like just something, different kind of comfort food. Because I knew I had enough salmon and sockeye, mainly sockeye, right? Salmon in the house. So I had no desire to buy any. And now I'm buying like it's no tomorrow. Like, I got 40 fucking cans coming, and I'm going to pick up 10 more with this order. That will be 50 fucking cans that I bought since this bitch left my house. Huh. But then after that, I won't need it, because the last time I bought it was in January of 2025. And we're in April now. Yeah. It showed me here when I, yeah, look.
Just the phone.
Last purchase on January 16th of 2025. I bought this one. Right? And I'm going to get 10 more, and then that will be it. I will discipline myself. I will pack them up into boxes. Make sure I have some around, right? I'm going to get into my older ones where I have them somewhere else. These ones, I'm going to pack them into boxes, put them somewhere in my room. And then, I'm wondering if, yeah, see? I just purchased. Purchased on March 21st of 2025. That was that, remember that box? With that ripped paper off? Now maybe I ripped the paper off and I wrote on the box what was there and I know where that box would be. But I haven't had a chance to go double check because I'm, doing other things, right? Because I'm not trying to falsely accuse somebody here of stealing shit, right? But it seemed kind of odd that little piece of paper where it said the one ham, sockeye, whatever, right? That's a more recent purchase when I was doing the 4 pink salmons, larger cans at a time.
Omar got changed by the way.
Okay, good.
No poo.
Well, he can have some Emalox in a few hours from now with some juice. Okay? And then, before she came, no, not before she came, after she came. Like in January, I had packed boxes, put them in my room, right, with the salmon that you've seen there, with the great value, right? So January, February, so they would have went into my room by February, towards February, March, because I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore, right? And I guess it came on sale in March, and I thought, to hell with it, one more time, right? Just because it's good for him and whatever, and the economy and whatever, and I was done. And then I moved on to crab and shrimp, because there was nothing left to buy, because I didn't need the ham, I didn't need the corned beef, I didn't need the tuna, I didn't need the kipper snacks, I didn't need the salmon. But I hadn't put all the boxes in the bedroom yet, right? And, so when she came, there was a few already from January, February, March already in my room, but then there was a few in the hall. So the one with that little piece of paper where it said the one ham, sockeye salmon, pink salmon, blah, and I showed you that little piece of paper. Now that box may be in my room, up in that little corner where the honey is. And maybe I took off the paper and just wrote on the box what it was. Maybe. But if that box is not there, right? It's just I'm working in that corner right now and I'm changing things on my table so I can't go and look. But as soon as I'm done packing up this box today with the ham that's coming in today, and I put my canning goods on top of it, and then I pick up my 1 size gallon jars and put them further to the front so that, you know, if I want something, it's easy. Where before I had them in the back, then I can get on my hands and knees, take a flashlight, look and see if that box is there. And if that box is not there, people, with it written on the box, what was written on that little piece of paper, then that means she took the fucking shit inside the box. And for whatever strange reason, the paper came off. But that doesn't remove the fact that I haven't come across not one old box from 2024, 2023, 2022, or whatever, of salmon. Not one. I haven't come across not even one. With the ham, nothing. No, I haven't come across no ham from a year ago. I haven't come across no freaking sockeye salmon from a year ago. And where it says on a little piece of paper it should be there, it's not there. But I may have moved it because when I was rearranging my bed, I was, you know, doing whatever with, you know, moving things around. So it should be in there. But fuck, she was in there, so who knows what's in there anymore. Looking and poking. Moving things around. I got canning jars in a box that don't even belong in the box. I don't even know where they came from. Little ones. And I'm looking at this box and I'm like, why is that? And they're like, they're right there on top. Why? Because when now my room wasn't perfect because I wasn't done because it's, you know, it's work in progress, right? Because I'm taking out things out of the bedroom as I'm putting in quote unquote food, trying to make it available. So Andre, you know, go get this. Andre, go find something for dinner and let's build a meal around it, right? So I'm trying to make it where it's easy for him to see it, get it, or even myself. So, you know, that takes time to juggle that shit around, right? And when I finished doing what I was in there initially doing a few weeks ago, okay? So, this is draining too. Like, it makes me so tired, right? And, what do you call it? When I left the room, it was, even though it was messy a bit, right? Because, you know, I'm moving things around and whatever, shit on the floor. It was surreal. It was surreal because I had all my jars in there except for one case of home canned goods that's sitting outside my front door on this little it's a little unit that is on wheels, right? And it's just sitting there. So that was the last canning box, and I've been refraining from canning. I was so tempted to buy meat the other day, like, you know, a week to go to, like, turkey, right? You know, spend $300 and you get a turkey. And I'm like, oh, yeah, well, that means you have to can. And, ooh, do you really want to start dealing with turkey? And it's a butterball yet, you know, and you don't want to can with extra butter. And so I talked myself out of it, and I was so proud that I didn't do it, right? Because that's been my habit, you know? And I'm like, no, you got enough, right? You don't need it. Just leave it alone. You need those jars for the fruit or something else, eh? And you still got one box of jars left to put away. One box. And they're sitting outside my front door. Where everything else, I had it all nicely placed, even though it was still somewhat in disarray. Since she's been in my room now, I got freaking a case of jars missing from a spot where there should be a case of jars, and I don't know where they are now. And I've got jars in a box that I don't even know where the box came from, outside of, I'm wondering what was in it first, maybe? What was in it? And then she just put the jars in it to make it look like that's the way it was supposed to be, because it's not anything that I would do. That's not the way I left it. I was happy with my jars when I left that room after I'd done doing what I did. Do you know how hard it is to take my shit out of that fucking room and just pile it up here and pile it up there and make plans to get rid of it? Because everybody's nattering in my ear that I will own nothing and have nothing and will be nothing, and I better get fucking used to it and hurry up and get rid of my shit? As they're stealing my shit? It's hard, people. And I'm trying to stay positive with it. Like, who cares? I'll be dead. Poof, I'm gone. Nothing will move except me, and all the bullshit will stay behind. Like Shimei. When Shimei died, everything got quiet. 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 There was no Julian Johnson and Shimei Chorney. There was no Julian Johnson running around threatening to blow up my house, set it on fucking fire, smash out my windows, shoot my kids. You know what I'm saying? None of that shit it just stopped. Everything just fucking stopped. Well, that's what it can be like when I'm dead. So what difference does this make if the people around me want to be fucking idiots and show their true colors? Can't stop them. There's no reasoning with them. Right? So when I left my room, after I took out more of my stuff, starting to feel like a bloody hobo here. Literally, I got my clothes in a fucking bag all piled up in one pile, like a freaking hobo. Yeah. As their vintage clothing are worth money, but nobody wants to help me sell them. Rob them, yeah, they'll do that. Right? But ultimately, at the end of the day, I would have given half of them to between TeaSha and Rhea. Half of them would have been gone and there would have been nothing left to fucking sell anyway. So what difference does it make? And even then, stealing from me. You couldn't wait for me to give them to you. You had to fucking steal them. But you needed to steal them in order to cushion the food that you were stealing. Including maybe 1-size gallon jars with $100 worth of maple syrup in it, or maybe $150 worth of fucking chocolate in it. As you're eyeballing my fabric up, way up high, but you can do it because you're Spider-Woman. You know? And now I'm sitting here like, oh fuck, I lost $1,000 worth of fucking fabric. Oh, isn't that just grand? But you don't sew, so what difference does it make? Who cares? Because for somebody that doesn't want to hear it, doesn't want to acknowledge what that person did, and would rather justify it and say it's okay that they stole from you because you're not going to use it anyway. So who cares if they stole it from you? You're not going to use it. You can't use it anymore. You can't see anymore. So who cares? Yeah. Right. Who cares? I do. It would have been nice to see it for the last time in my life before I die. And I probably would have sold it. Or maybe I would have gave it to Marina. Maybe. She sews. She just doesn't sew the kind of stuff that I sewed. But if somebody came to you with a bolt of flat sequins fabric, a bolt full, black, you're not going to turn it up, like turn it away when it's $50 a meter. You do the math on that one. And that's when I bought it. Who knows what it is today? Could be more. And that's why Rhea took it. More than likely. Or at least a similar type of fabric. Because that's the reason it was way up high, up against the wall in a shelf with shit in front of it, so it wouldn't be taken by thieves. And it happened anyway. So, who wants to spend a long, hard day in a kitchen when you can just lay down and rest and muster up some energy to put in a long day tomorrow to pick up the broken pieces, clean up the spilt milk? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now I'm debating whether I should buy this or not. Okay, I did do 10 cans of sockeye salmon clover leaf at full price, so I'm going to avoid that because I found that book. But I didn't find the envelope yet, but I have a sneaky feeling if this envelope that I'm looking for with Andre's math stuff is not here, because I think maybe I put it here and it kind of fell in there. Actually, Andre, you get the flashlight, and when I get up, can you please go look? Because I just want to know whether it's there or not, okay? Because I haven't found it yet. But this one was out. This is the book I was talking about to teach Andre about money at an early age. And it specifically talks about, you know, you trying to save money or whatever, right? And, you know, one of the ways to do that is to avoid temptation. Buying salmon in multiples at the rate that I've been buying it is not a temptation. This, in my mind, is a necessity to bring back up what I had before I was robbed. Okay? And I was satisfied with what I had prior to being robbed, because if I wasn't, instead of buying crab meat, I would have been continuing to buy salmon, sockeye salmon, and I stopped. And now I'm being forced to buy it again. Well, I'm not being forced. I choose to do it. I choose to do it because I don't want to have to be at, you know, I don't want to be in turmoil. I want to bring my room back to that being surreal. Right? I was looking forward to making nice little chocolate treats with Andre, whether we were making chocolate bars or chocolate cookies or chocolate cake or chocolate icing or chocolate candy, chocolate pudding, right? Doesn't matter. And then maybe sharing that with Marcane, and I suppose Marina as well. Now that she's in the house, right? So you share it, right?
She's at her parents right now.
What?
She's at her parents.
Yeah, I'm saying. I mean, we have to. We don't cook for one. We have to cook for two if we're cooking for them, because there's two of them. Just like when you get food, they give me food, right? They don't cook just extra for you. They know I'm up here. And then Amari gets from us, Andre and me, between what's on our plates. So, you know, I don't want to lose that. I don't want to call it a dream, because it's not a dream. It's just, you know, an opportunity to be a good cook. And to be able to say, it's like that sausage maker. There's going to come a day when Andre, he wants to make hot dogs, because he bought hot dogs, and he said they tasted awful. He said, Nana, when are we going to start making hot dogs? These hot dogs taste awful. He paid $7 for them. Was it the ones that you paid $7 for?
No. It was a pack for $5.
Oh, it was a pack for $5, and they tasted like crap. And he's asking me when we're going to make hot dogs. Well, it's the same thing.
This pack that I bought, that was actually good.
Huh?
This pack though that I bought this time was actually good.
How much you pay for them, though?
$7.
Yeah, you have to pay $7 for them, exactly. You could buy $30 worth of meat and make 10 times as much and be just as good, if not better. And they would be more healthier. So there you go, right? So this is the same idea. right? Why buy chocolate from the store, a chocolate bar, you know, $2 a chocolate now, $1.25, $1.50, and it's very little chocolate in it, just a whole bunch of other crap, when you can make your own with real chocolate, real ingredients. Now, if I find the baker's chocolate, after it's all said and done, because you know I'm going from spot to spot, it might take me a month or two to go from spot to spot. I'm going to try and get up on top of that bunk bed in the next week, for sure. Yeah, if I could go up there today, I would, but I don't want to be up there by myself. I'd fall, Andre wouldn't hear me. I'd be hanging off the bed with my foot like this, with me hanging upside down. And of course, you know, something, you know, I can't holler out, so he, you know, he'd be like an hour later, what's Nana doing in there? She's so quiet. And I'll be looking at him and I'll be like, yeah, it's about time. You came to check up on me? No, I just think it would be better if my son was with me when I first initially went up there. And then this way, if I'm up there, then maybe I can bring down a few things if they're not already gone. You see, that's the thing. If they're not already gone. Oh, yeah. And with that freaking interface standing up on guard like that, that makes me really, really, really suspicious. I didn't even know I had black interface. Okay? I remember now that I had, but, you know, I haven't thought about black interface in freaking years. In freaking years. Like, this girl's got a lot of bloody balls. A lot of bloody balls. Oh, I can't. It burns my goat. Yeah. Yeah, she'd been working me for years. Oh, yeah. But all she wanted was free daycare. Well, no, she was giving Andre 20 bucks. Right? And a little bit. Just, yeah. So, cheap, not free, cheap daycare. Cheap daycare. Right? Because her and TeaSha were going out. And then after a while, it became just her. Before it started with her and TeaSha going out. That's how it started. She needed a babysitter so she could go out with TeaSha. And TeaSha would have her kids with Alex's dad, or Alex would watch them. And then it got to be between TeaSha watching her kids every week, once a week, with Rhea watching her kids every couple of weeks. It was just getting to be too wonkers for us, right? Andre and I, right? Because, you know, they make a mess, right? And, you know, and they get hyper and whiny, and, you know, we're tired, and they don't come back until 3, 4, 5 in the morning, depending on what's going on, and, you know, and just blah. And eventually I just told TeaSha I needed a break, so she backed off. But Rhea never really stopped. And then for the last couple of months, you know, the last, I'd say 6 months, within the last 6 months, it's been once or twice a month. And it's been kind of like a given, where she asks and I just agree, even though both Andre and I, we really don't want to babysit, because, you know, the living room gets messy, and just, you know, we're already tired and just worn out, and then, you know, we're having to deal with 2 extra kids, and then there's issue with the kids, and it's just, you know, and so just like, whatever. But she was just needing a babysitter. And then when, you know, when Mrs. Gill was doing what Mrs. Gill was doing, I mean, I couldn't talk to TeaSha about it. Obviously, I couldn't talk to Marcaine about it. I wanted to leave. I didn't know how to leave. I knew that Rio, where she was living, she wasn't happy. And I just took a chance to ask if maybe we could share a place, right? You know what I'm saying? And to think about it, to talk about the pros and the cons. We talked more about the pros, and then eventually we started talking about the cons. And then all of a sudden, the last con in that card play, it blew up in everybody's fucking face. Well, my face. Only in my face did it blow up, because I'm the one that's out anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000 worth of shit. And I'm not supposed to care about it. You know, who cares? Who cares? Oh, well, get over it. You know. You shouldn't have had it in the first place. You had too much. Yeah, right. Well, maybe if I would have moved into a decent house where I could have sewed that freaking fabric, you know, I wouldn't be in this predicament today. But at least I have a roof over my head and a place to bitch on about. So for that, I'm grateful. And it was better that this happened now and find out about it than in 2 months from now and find out about it after we went from room to room to room to room to room. That's the only thing I can think of. So I'm debating whether I should pay this on my credit card. But, you know, like I said, what did God give me just get it over with, Judy? If you have extra, if you can find your baker's if you find your baker, if I don't find my baker's chocolate, I will have to do this again. Because the last time I did this, I did a run of at least 2 runs, if not 3, with the baker's chocolate in general. Probably, I'd say I put it at probably 2. Right, because 10 and 10 and 5, that's 40, 50 boxes of baker's chocolate, which would have came in at about $300, which sounds reasonable. And then, of course, we've got the chocolate chips with another $300-400, right, in terms of, you know, the bags and just whatever. And if they're gone, people, I don't know. If they're here, well, this stuff can sit for years and 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 years. Right along with maple syrup, right along with canned salmon, right along with all that other stuff, the maple sugar. So, you know, if it's here, then great. If I don't find the maple sugar, now I've got maple sugar in other spots, but the one that I had out to use, I will replace that before I'd go into my other stuff. But I'm not replacing that right now because I'm so hoping that it's in my room where it should be. And so far I haven't come across the jar yet. But I'm not in the mood to be spending $140 on stupid maple syrup, maple sugar, or whatever they're charging now. Back when I bought it, years ago, it was reasonable, $99 for 10 kg. Now they want like $189 for the same amount. Yeah, okay. Not including the jar, because jars cost money too, right? I'm pretty sure she didn't empty out the jar into my clothes and left an empty jar behind, like she left an empty box behind, right? Because there's values to jars, right? Yeah. And you can't blame that on no freaking disability. Doesn't wash. So I'm very reluctant to buy this, but I feel like I need to start the process, because if I don't find my chocolate, whether they're the jars with the chocolate chips that are out, not in boxes packed away for long term, but that were meant for, like, Andre, yes, we're going to be making chocolate chips very soon. Nana just has to finish up. I'm at the tail end of everything. Not anymore. I'm in the full fucking swing of shit. Forget this tail end of shit. I'm having to do it all over again with some of this stuff. And I don't like it. And I'm not going to sit quiet on it, because it's not a joke. So before I buy again, it will have to be either on sale. This time I'm paying full price. I am getting 10 more cans of salmon that are on sale, but that will be the last order of it now. I'll pack up what I have, and I will continue to look for my other ones that should be in my room that I have not found yet. And if for whatever reason over the next month I don't find my baker's chocolate anywhere in my room, And you know I'm opening up my boxes where there's jars, and I'm looking inside those boxes to see what's inside those jars. And I'm going to make sure that whatever is written on the outside of the box is exactly what's on the inside of the box, so there is no confusion. And if I don't find my baker's chocolate or my chocolate chips that are supposed to be in there, inside the box itself, she couldn't have done that though. She didn't have enough time to start opening up boxes, take out things, put some boxes, but I'm talking about the boxes that hold like the 1 gallon size jars. She maybe on the bed she got into those ones. I don't know. Like honestly, I'm going to be looking. It's stupid. It's so stupid. Talk about a waste of time. Big waste of time. Big waste of time. But I'm going to do it anyway. If I find them, great. If I don't find them, then what I'm doing here I'll do again within the next 6 months. Unless, of course, I feel the price is going to go up so high because of what's going on in the economy, I might cut to the chase a little faster than that. Other than that, there's only so many things that I keep in my room, people. I was looking forward to making chocolate candy and chocolate bars, and I have all these cute little chocolate molds, eh? Right? You know, little, like, ice cream, like, no, little snowman mold where you put a stick on it and you pour your chocolate in there, and then after, you know, you got your little, right? Whatever. I got different kinds of molds. I thought that'd be really fun to do with the kids. Yeah, but it's not happening. Not now. Oh, it's kind of making me ill. But if I can spend $2,000 on a bin to throw my stuff out in the garbage, I can spend another $2,000 to build up my food pantry again after I got robbed. What is this? They want me to verify my phone number. What for? Oh, no, I already paid for it. It says thank you for your order. Okay, no, it's already been done. I didn't realize that I did that already. So it's done. So we get some baker's chocolate coming. Andre says, oh, well, you're going to have to repackage that, right, Nana? Because he knows it's grueling for me. He watches me do this shit. It takes quite a long time to put this stuff away properly. Now, I won't buy no more baker's chocolate until I know for sure, 100%, that mine first batch disappeared. If it's in there, and the little bit that I bought now, well, that just means more chocolate bars for us. That's great, because I don't buy chocolate bars, because I want him to learn how to make his own chocolate treats. For the nutritional aspect of it. Right? To get away from the preservatives and that kind of stuff. And I'm going to refrain from buying chocolate chips just yet because I'm looking for chocolate chips that I just recently bought a few months ago. And that was the last time I was going to buy chocolate for a very, very, very long time. But little did I know. Little did I know. And I'm like so not up to rooting around in the kitchen. No. I think I might just rest and maybe fall asleep for a little while. And then when I get up, then just try and stay focused. So,
Wait for the blender to cool down. I accidentally burned it out again. It's too heavy, so I have to take some out.
well, have you fed him already?
No, because the blender keeps on burning out.
Okay, well, why don't you do me a favor? Can you go and there's that black bucket there. Just be careful, don't break my jars. And stand on that black bucket. I guess I'll have to help you with that. And get that blender with the not the one that you use for smoothies, but the one with the glass. I don't want to use this one because this one on the floor here, I use that for grinding up bread and that kind of stuff, right? No, the one that's on the fridge, because I think that one can puree. And we'll start using that one and start making larger portions all at one time. Okay, we have to change the way we're making food for him. Okay, so let's get that down today. Sound like a plan, Stan?
Sure, we'll do it in a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we use this little blender that it can only handle so much. But Mari needs bigger portions, not every time he's fed because there's only so much room in his stomach. But it's time to bring the bigger blender and make, you know, bigger portions, and then that's what those jars that I bought are for, right? It's just the last 2 times I made food and put them into Amari's jars with the lids on. They went in the fridge. I don't know, Andre buries things. They got buried, and by the time I found them, they weren't. Amari didn't eat them, and they just spoiled. So I said to Andre, well, if I, like today, cook today, and because that's what I'd be doing, I'd be spending most of my day cooking for Amari, building up his bowls, right? And I told him it's not going on the bottom shelf no more. It's going at the very top shelf on the left-hand side, and that's exactly where they stay. Right? Because when we're using them daily, 2 or 3 times a day, oh, it works really, really good. But if they go on the bottom shelf and then they get buried or pushed off over to the side, no. And because I'm so dispersed with other things and busy with other things, right? You know, like, and then I come back a week later and I find those things with the food in it that I spent all day to fucking, sorry, boo-boo, you know, puree and cook and I paid for, and it's going into the compost. Yeah, okay. I don't think so. And well, we got some thief running around in the house adding more pressure to my plate, right? Got me doing things I shouldn't be doing, because when I left my room, even though I did what I did, when like I said, you don't know how hard it is to go into your personal bedroom, start pulling out your stuff as if you're getting ready to say goodbye to everybody because you're leaving this world. Basically, that's what it feels like, right? Right? And you ready to leave the room, and you're comfortable with the way you left it. Because I'm in transition, taking out my clothes, taking out the fabric, earrings, whatever, it doesn't matter, shoes, jackets, all of it. It's gonna go, fucking books, right, whatever, it's all going. As food is turning into a pantry. So for those that are living, can live and have a fighting chance in a stupid world where everybody wants to rob somebody. Right? And the ones that you think that wouldn't want to be that way to rob are the ones that are doing it. Because they're so morally fucking correct, but yet they're going around robbing from people. Okay, yeah, okay. So, you know, in this transitional stage, I took all the stuff, I dealt with it, I put food in, I dealt with it, I placed all my jars nice, I covered them up. It felt surreal. It was nice. Nothing moved until we came with Rhea to move the freaking bookshelf, and now everything's all over the place. Things in boxes that shouldn't even belong there, and I'm like, holy shit, what the hell was in that box? Because it sure in hell wasn't that, and that's not right, and oh, it's just terrible. What?
Blender.
It's too heavy. It can't handle heavy weight. We're gonna bring the other one down.
Where's the other one?
It's on top of the fridge. It's the black one with the glass bowl. I want the glass bowl because if we have something warm, it can handle it. Yours is plastic. Whatever that ninja thing that you got, it wouldn't be good for what we need it for Amari stuff. Because sometimes I'm cooking spinach, large amounts of spinach and stuff, and they're coming in sometimes warm. Or whatever. Right? Yeah, no, it was like, I felt good about it. I was okay with...
Is it a tester?
I was okay.
I'm tired of waiting.
No, it's too thick. That's way too thick. You look how thick that is. And it's a little gritty. Oh yeah, there's still chunks in there. That's why it's not grinding up, because it's too heavy. Take out a couple tablespoons, add a little bit more milk or whipping cream, and then give it a good blend, because there's still little bits of fiber in it. I'm chewing it with my teeth.
Why did I want to add the hemp seeds?
Hemp seeds are good for him though. High in calories and stuff. I have lots of nutrients. Yeah. I felt at peace with the transition between giving up my stuff, bringing it down to a hobo bag over my shoulder so that my family would be left with a room full of food. That was surreal. Rhea shows up. Beeline's there the minute we walk out, and I'm sitting here. And within 20 minutes, she turned it into a war zone. In terms of, it's like a bomb went off. And things are like all over the place now. With shit missing. Me buying what I'm buying, doing what I'm doing, I'm trying to bring it back to that equilibrium. And the sooner I can bring it back to that equilibrium, the faster I can heal from what happened, as well as Andre.
Did you?
Right?
What'd you do?